Oh man. So what has my coach been up to? What has my coach and y'all's for life? Y'all know what he is to you. How has y'all's chosen one? Or what has y'all's chosen one been up to? Oh yeah. He went back through, he rehashed this excavation slash driveway contractor slash dirt surveying, and he walked you guys through it slowly. He said he's gonna walk you guys through it slowly. He said, what do you say? Grab your popcorn because I'm gonna walk it slowly. I'm gonna slow walk it, as if the viewers are not already accustomed to my coach slow walking his content. He said, grab your popcorn, strap on your seatbelt, because I'm going to slow walk it. Is that right? Okay, now telling someone to grab popcorn normally implies there's going to be a certain amount of excitement, a certain amount of action associated with something to come, yes? And so how in the world do you advise your viewers to grab their popcorn, grab their latte, okay, because you're going to slow walk them through this driveway project that you've already talked about previously, okay? At least a couple of times previously, maybe a few times, yes? If anything, you should tell them to grab their pillow. Grab their pillow, yes? Okay, because you're going to disseminate some bona fide pillow talk, yes? Putting them to sleep, okay? Now that the nodcast is over, you're going to put your viewers to sleep with this slow walking. And I mean slow. Slow walking of this driveway nonsense. Is that right? Okay, and now he said that the driveway project will triple the value of his property. Is that right? Okay, so now, I know for one reason or another, us viewers, we actually believe that your property was worth something. Okay, apparently we made that mistake. Apparently, okay, because if it was worth something for you to claim that a driveway, actually paving, putting down rocks, putting down soil, and paving it, and actually, I don't even think you're going to pave it, right? You're just going to put down rocks. So now listen. If you're telling us that actually putting down rocks, putting down gravel on your driveway is going to triple your property value, how low must your property value be currently? Okay, we know you paid about $20,000, or we believe you paid around $20,000 for that mobile home, yes? Of course, we all know that mobile homes are depreciating property, yes? Okay, they're not like traditional houses that are built upon a foundation that generally speaking, they appreciate, generally speaking, yes? But we know that for mobile home, it's depreciating property. And so if you bought it a couple of years ago for $20,000, that means today it's maybe worth about $12,000. Okay. And so, I don't know, you bought the land for maybe five to 7,000 for the land. And so that would get you back up to around $20,000 for the land and the raggedy old mobile home combined, yes? Okay, so around 20 grand would be where it's worth right about now. And so you're going to claim to your woeful Tim worshipers that simply adding gravel, and at first I was thinking you were going to pave the driveway, and I said, okay, it's nonsense that paving a driveway would push it up, would triple the value. But now that I'm recalling that you're just talking about laying down some gravel, you're tripling it. Okay, if your property's worth about 20 grand total now. You're talking about just the driveway alone is going to raise it up to around $60,000. Absolute nonsense. Yes. The only thing crazier than you making that claim is the fact that some of your heaviest of followers actually believe it. Okay. And some of your readiest of Tim writers may actually believe that if they pave their own driveway, forget about paving it. If they just put down some gravel on their own driveway at their own property, they too may be able to triple or at least double the value of their property. Okay? That's bad financial advice. Okay? That's a bad financial example, yes? If he's not giving you the advice to put all your money into graveling or leveling out or excavating or dry, if he's not giving you guys the advice to do that to your own property, okay, and thereby bring up your property value or double your property value, if he's not giving that, then he's certainly serving as a financial example for many of the most woeful of Tim worshipers. Okay, he's certainly serving as an example. There's no doubt about it. Yes, I mean, you guys that were pulling up to his P2P motivations with pen and pad, writing down these notes, these motivational notes, these inspirational notes, absorbing some of his financial advice. Okay, certainly some of you guys are going to try to follow his example, but it's ridiculous. Yes. Okay, and so if that property is worth about 20 grand total, now adding that porch, I'm sure that at some point he's going to claim that porch, because it supposedly doubles the living space as a porch, because it supposedly doubles the living space of his mobile home. I'm sure he's going to claim that porch is going to also not triple, but he'll probably say it's going to double the value. I'm just guessing. We won't know for another 8-9 months. Okay. Well, actually, he'll probably start making these claims in about 4 months. In about 4 months, he'll start making these claims. Yes. That it's going to double the value. If he doubles the living space, he's going to. It doesn't work like that. The calculations don't go that way. Yes. Okay. By best estimation, that porch, adding on that porch, may increase the value by $1,000. Okay. And that's if it's a full size porch like you intend, or like you claimed you're going to actually erect. Maybe $1,000. And so that would get your total property in totality about 21 grand. Yes. Actually paving that driveway, I'm thinking that might add on another $1,200. Okay. And so, we can stretch the calculations. We can stretch the number. Yes. But it does not add up to you, getting that property, pushing that property up to somewhere around 60,000. It doesn't support you possibly pushing it up to around 40,000, total value. I'm guessing maybe somewhere around 25,000 once the driveway is completed, somewhere around 25,000. Yes. Okay. You guys double check my numbers. Yes. You heavy Tim followers, double check my numbers, go into the comments, run the numbers for me. Yes. And I'm talking about some realistic numbers. I'm not talking about some fictional, made up, exaggerated, inflated numbers that my coach, y'all's pastor, is prone to do. We know he's prone to exaggerate and inflate. Yes. Okay. But I'm going to give my reaction to a recent video that I saw from IAG. I'm going to look at it from a standpoint of two truths and a lie. Okay. All right. So we know that there are ample exaggerations tossed out frequently. Okay. We know that there are tall tales that are offered and posted to the YouTube on the regular. Okay. We know that there are mistruths. Yes. All right. And so today I want to talk about two truths and a lie. Yes. And let's see if we can spot them. Let's see if anything that's offered is supported by fact. If it's supported by my coach, if it's supported by y'all's pastor. But we're going to take a look at this from a standpoint of two truths and a lie. Yes. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. If I'm wrong when I spot something and I say that's a truth, he's telling the truth about that. And you guys, coach, captain, that's a lie. That's a lie. Let me know in the comments. Yes. And then if I see something that's a blatant exaggeration, i.e. a lie, and I call it a lie, and you're like, no. To be fair to our pastor, you don't call him your pastor? Okay. All right. To be fair to their pastor, you said that it was a lie, and he's telling the truth on this one. Okay. But I'm going to give my reaction. Here. All right. Two truths and a lie. So this video starts out with Timothy Jr. struggling to express himself. Now, bear in mind that this has been rehearsed. Yes. Of course, this is scripted. Yes. Of course, this is staged. Yes. And so it's been rehearsed. It's been gone over with him. I'm assuming that Tim, my coach, has gone over with what he wants him to say. And of course, Junior is still struggling. Yes. And I'm like, has this boy regressed? Is he regressing in his literacy? Is he going backwards? Or is he just where he was a year ago? He's in the same place he was a year ago. But good gracious. And so Tim labels him as being Tim Jr. Okay, you don't have to label him. We know him as being Tim Jr. And he says he's the CEO. He labels him as the CEO of IAG Farms. Oh my God. 2 truths and a lie. Okay, so where are the truths here? Yes? The first truth is that he is Timothy Jr. The second truth would be that they are on IAG Farm. Now, that's subject to debate. Okay, now clearly there is no farm. All right, but you can say they're on the IAG Farm property. Yeah, so that would be another truth. Now, the CEO, the 10-year-old CEO of IAG Farms, Chief Executive Officer of IAG Farms. Okay, Tim Senior, we know you're in charge of all this. Okay, but if anything, Megan would be the CEO of IAG Farms. Yes. Okay, and so we were able to scrape together 2 truths. The lie would, of course, have to be the fact that Junior is the CEO. He's not in a position to make any decisions. Okay, any adult decisions around that farm. Now we know the 3 boys collectively; those 3 boys that have collectively comprised a single 5-year-old brain. Okay, and that's by my coach's designation. He designated that they all were 5-year-olds when they get together. Okay, but certainly a 5-year-old is not capable of making any type of chief executive officer type of decisions about this farm. Yes, but show us more. Show us more.
Now we gonna find our way. Feeling like Moses, man, the Lord chose us. Now we gotta find our way.
IAG Farm family, we're just getting ready to go outside and do farm tours today because it's light farm tours today. We do light farm tours on Saturday and Sunday, and we do long farm tours at 8 o'clock on Monday through Friday.
All right, 2 truths and a lie. Okay, now for the sake of transparency, yes, and I know you steady Tim supporters don't want to admit it, but this has all been driven by the reaction channels. Yes, it's been driven by the reaction space. All right, it's not based on just the evolution of Tim. Yes, okay, he could have changed years ago. He could have changed for one reason or another, i.e. the reaction channels. Okay, he's only recently been changing the ways that he moves around that farm because he knows that he's subject to certain scrutiny. Okay, but so for the sake of him displaying some sort of transparency, he shows you guys behind the scenes the fact that not only was Junior struggling with his lines, okay, his stage lines, not only was he struggling, but Tim admitted that we often have to rehearse these a few times. We often have to practice them a few times. Okay, and so now if these are actually my coach's thoughts, why is he not saying them? Why is he forcing this dialogue on the boys? Okay, now Megan claimed that they just pick up the camera and they start filming. But now Tim is admitting that this is all staged, it's all scripted. What's going on here? And he's talking about for the sake of producing some good content. I thought your life was content. Okay, you were trying to pretend as though any of this was authentic. What's going on here? Now some transparency. What's really going on here? Okay, so the truth would be, of course, the fact that this was staged. The truth would be, of course, the fact that it was practiced. Okay, and then, of course, the lie in this scene would be the fact that he's sharing it with you guys to show you guys that he's admitting to you guys that normally he edits this out. Okay, but he's claiming that he does that for the sake of producing good content. Okay, so that would be the lie in the scene because, of course, in his case, he's actually showing you guys this. They're actually practicing it for the sake of trying to portray a certain image. Okay, and so what is it? Is it good content or is it good image? Is it authentic or is it a portrayal? Okay, and in between the lines, what are we really teaching these boys? What are we teaching them? All right, but show us more, coach. Show us more.
And we have a bunch of baby pigs running around today, and ever since we had them, but some of the baby pigs are getting a little bit too big because we caught them eating out of the automatic feeder, out of the feeder pigs, automatic feeder.
And then say something like, all right, y'all, so we're going to go ahead and do these farm chores, so y'all just join.
All right, y'all, we're going to go out and do these farm chores, so y'all just join us.
Just say that again and walk off once you do it.
So we have a bunch of baby pigs running around on the farm, but some of them get real fat, and we know why, because they be eating out of the automatic feeder from the feeder pigs. All right, y'all, let's go out and do these farm chores.
All right, so let's be clear. I don't blame the boys. I don't blame the kids for any of this. I don't blame them for struggling with their literacy. Yes, I don't blame them for being forced to portray certain images. I don't blame them for being forced to stretch the truth. Okay, I don't blame them for not being able to decipher the difference between truth and reality around that farm. I don't blame them. Okay, they've been taught this way of deception from an early age. I don't blame the boys. Okay, but we notice as the boys are walking off toward the barn site, we notice that they have a certain cadence. They have a certain gait to them when they walk. Okay, they used to walk like little boys do, flailing their arms and swinging their hips and what have you. Yes, and of course we know that my coach, he went in, he said, men don't walk like that. And like, but we're just little boys. We're just 5, 7, and 9. We're just little boys. Okay, we're just developing our dexterity. Okay, all right, we're just trying to make our way. We're just trying to find our way, struggling with our balance. Fumbling, tripping over ourselves, a little bit clumsy. Yes, we're just little boys trying to make our way in this world. My coach's like, no. You guys are men. I'm developing you guys as men at an early premature age. Yes, and so we notice when the boys are walking in this stage scene, we know they have a certain cadence, a certain gait to their walk, arms at their sides, and no flailing going on. Yes, and it's not by coincidence. Yes, even little Noah, he's trying to restrict his arms as they're walking. Yes. Okay, so the truths, yes. Now, one truth is that Timothy Jr. is apparently he's eating something different than the rest of the boys. Maybe I should say obviously. He's eating something different, yes. He has something different going on with his diet, okay, compared to the other boys, yes. So that would be a truth. All right. Seeing little Noah tagging along, just following along, yes. Little Noah representing the empty vessel that his own dad labeled him as months ago. Little Noah, he does represent an empty vessel. We can see that. Okay, and where is the lie? Obviously, the lie is in how the boys are trying to walk. Okay, how they're trying to portray themselves to be orderly men, considering the fact that they're still developing boys. But show us more, Coach. Show us more.
So y'all just join us.
All of them ups and downs. Yeah. Never knew come this far, but now we're here. Yeah. Everything we have.
See if we can catch some of them baby pigs out running around.
That's what he said.
Titus, tell them about something different on the barn site that they're about to see.
All right, 2 truths and a lie. Okay, so now the first truth. Titus is the most articulate of the boys. Okay, and now his only competition, of course, would be Timothy Jr. It should be no competition, though, yes, considering that Jr. is at least 2 years older than Titus. But obviously, Titus is the more articulate. He's the more expressive of the boys. Okay, and that is a truth. That's an obvious truth. Yes. Of course, a lie is that Tim labeled him as being the chief operating officer of IAG Farms. Okay, and so what are we talking about here? Are we goofing around or are we being serious? Is there some type of documentation? You have these young boys on paperwork and some type of operational capacity of that farm. Okay, and so that would be a lie. Yes. Now, another truth, it appears that Gideon is free in the barn area. Titus indicated that they had moved a couple of rams, or they moved a ram and a ram lamb over to the barn area. Yes. And then it was only supposed to be one lie, but I guess there's another lie that's creeping in when Tim says that one of his viewers asked about Gideon and about Gideon being cooped up or caged up or what have you. And so I think I'm at 2 truths and 2 lies. You guys let me know. It's hard to keep track of it, yes? But show us more, Coach. Show us more.
We moved the rams over to the barn site so they'll have more grass to eat.
So
we didn't move BJ over to the rams. We just moved Billy and the ram lamb.
So we're feeding them out, right? Getting them ready to do it. Taking the freezer count, right?
Yep.
One of them out, just chilling. Is that a ram right there? I don't think it is. Exactly. And somebody was asking about Gideon. I tell y'all once we get in there.
All right, so 2 truths and a lie, yes? Okay, and so of course it does appear as though Gideon is wandering freely within the barn area. Of course, Tim has labeled him as Chief of Security. Okay, and then Timothy Jr. says, we don't even know where the pig pen is now that the little piglets are wandering freely in and out of the gate that was incorrectly erected by our dad. Okay, and the gate that he refuses to fix in order to contain these piglets, yes? Okay, and so 2 truths, 2 lies. Now, the fact that Gideon would be Chief of Security. Now, I thought that my coach had purchased that air rifle so that he could be Chief of Security. Yes? Didn't he purchase that rifle so that he could ward off the snakes and the raccoon and the possum and the squirrel and the mice and the rat and the occasional coyote? I thought that he was the Chief of Security, yes? Okay, not to mention the fact that, I thought he was the CEO, the COO, the CFO, all of that. But he's labeled Gideon as being the Chief of Security. Okay. All right. And so I guess we said that Junior was talking about we don't know where the pig pen is. Now, we know that was rehearsed. We know that was one of his lines, yes? We know that was one of his lines. I think he executed it flawlessly. He stumbled a little bit, but I think he executed it flawlessly, yes? Okay. And so now where is the lie in all of this? Well, of course, Gideon is not the Chief of Security. That's okay. So that's not a truth there, yes? All right. And then Tim talks about how he mowed the grass just enough so that the kids could walk to the pig pen without having to walk through the tall grass. I'm like, you have a 0 turn, yes? It would have taken, I don't know, a couple minutes longer for you to actually mow that entire area. Yes? But let's continue on. Let's continue.
But y'all see he's coming. He's in the barn site. And he can easily get out. Get in. Come here, bud. Let me show them Gideon can get out. Come here, Gideon. See? So we got the gate wide enough so Gideon can get out. Y'all can go ahead and go in.
And he can get in. We don't even know where the pen is now because the baby pigs are all over.
Oh, yeah. So, Rams? Hey.
One of the baby pigs that stay out.
Y'all see all this tall, lush grass here? And I got a couple lines that I cut with the lawnmower so the boys can get to the different pens and get in here when I have to walk, without having to walk through the tall grass. But
all right, 2 truths and a lie, yes? And I'm struggling on the truths. Yeah. All right, so first truth is that this is the barn area. That's not a truth. It's a shed area. It's a shed. It's a covered porch area. It's a shack area. Okay. Well, the first truth is that this is an area. It's an area, yes? And he talks about how the viewers were asking him about Gideon, and he admits that back before they pushed Solo off on Grandma Lily, back before they expelled Solo, innocent old Solo, off to Grandma Lily's mobile home. I can't say Grandma Lily's property because she doesn't own that property. But he says, well, he casually says that, okay, you guys remember that we used to keep Gideon and Solo, 2 adult dogs, in this little cage, this little hamster cage. And so he's saying, well, we don't do that anymore. Yes. And so whether or not that's the truth, I'm not sure. Whether or not that's the lie, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, we don't know if Gideon is still kept in that cage, but he implies that Gideon is allowed to free range now. He talks about the fact that Solo was hard-headed. And I'm like, as a former breeder of dogs, as a former trainer of dogs, shouldn't you have been able to train Solo so that he was not so hard-headed? Aren't all dogs hard-headed until they're trained properly? Okay, but he just said, well, Solo was hard-headed, and that's why we got rid of Solo. Okay, it's not really because Solo had killed one of the baby lambs. Yes. Okay, we tried to pin it on Solo back then to make it sound good. Yes, and it's not that we were donating Solo to another farm. Okay, we were actually trying to get rid of Solo. Okay, because he was less trained than Gideon. All right. And so now Tim talks about, well, the viewers asked about getting a doghouse for Gideon, which is reasonable. It's reasonable to have a doghouse for a full-grown dog. It's reasonable. All right. And then so Tim says, well, let me show you his doghouse. And he walks into the shed that he calls a barn, that's known as Ernest. He says, well, this is Gideon. This is now Gideon's doghouse. Oh my goodness. And now we know before that it was a sheep house. We know the sheep got up in there and they peed and they pooped all up inside of it. Yes. And so now this shed is supposedly Gideon's doghouse. And the kids chime in that, okay, he sleeps all over. He sleeps on top of the barn. I'm not sure where that is. I mean, I'm assuming they're talking about on the shed floor. They talk about him hanging out underneath the barn with the piglets, and he hangs around and he coils up in the hay, yes? And I'm like, what happened to this supposed chill area that you were developing? Back when Megan cleaned out that barn 3, 4, 5 times in preparation for it to be a chill area for the family. What happened to that? Okay, now it's a doghouse. It's a bona fide doghouse. Okay, and so now I do have to identify a truth when I see it, yes? Okay, and so come to find out, this supposed barn, Ernest, that I consider to be a shack, that most would consider to be a shed if it had at least one more wall, effectively, for these past couple of years, it has effectively been a doghouse. Okay, it's been a doghouse. All right, even though the dogs are separated from it, it was suitable for dogs. Okay, and now Tim can officially label it as a doghouse. Now, the unfortunate part is that we know who's going to be burdened with the responsibility of cleaning out that doghouse from time to time. Megan, put it on your calendar, Megan. Okay, now you have doghouse duty, along with cleaning up after Tim. Yes, and his dogged ways, yes? Okay, along with that, now you have to clean up after Gideon. Okay, within his doghouse, yes? We do know, of course, that male dogs, they mark their territory. Okay, and of course, they mark, if they do have a house, they're going to mark that house. Okay, and they mark it frequently. Okay, Megan. So, Megan, get the gloves ready, Megan. Show us more, Coach.
So, y'all, without turning my back to one of these rams. But y'all were asking about Gideon, and y'all remember back when we had Gideon and Solo, that we would put him in this cage because Solo was a little hard-headed. He was a little bit younger. We didn't raise him all the way from birth. You know, he was a little bit older when we got him. But Gideon, so now that Solo is gone and down at Grandma's house, Gideon actually just free ranges. And y'all were asking, like, do we have a dog house for him? And I'm gonna show y'all his dog house. This is his dog house right here. he on top of the barn, in with the pigs. He be under the barn with the pigs. He'll come under here and lay down and
All right, 2 truths and a lie, yes? Truth, that area, that shed area is worthy of a dog. All right? And relative to that cage, that hamster cage that Gideon was crammed in with Solo. Good gracious. Okay, this is a come up. This is a come up for Gideon. Okay. And so that space is, I don't know, maybe about 3 times as large as what will be needed for a dog house for a dog of that size. And so it's a nice space for Gideon. Yes. All right. So that's the truth. And now Tim, he indicates that Gideon, whenever the boys are in with the Rams, Gideon is protective of the boys to make sure that the Rams don't run up on the boys. Okay. And Tim admits, so here's another truth. Tim admits that Gideon is not so protective of him. And I'm like, okay, hold on now. I thought a dog was a man's best friend. Yes. Why would Gideon now? Gideon knows by now, he knows that those Rams will ram anyone. Okay. Adults, kids alike. Yes. Each other. It doesn't matter. Okay. They'll even ram a dog. Yes. If a dog turns his back, that dog is getting rammed. Yes. And we can see that as Gideon is careful not to turn his back. But Tim claims that the Rams are protective whenever the boys are around the Rams. But moments later, we see that Gideon is off. He's off to, I don't know, go chill underneath the shed. He's off, and then the Rams are walking up on the boys. And like, what are you talking about? Coach, I thought you said whenever the Rams are close to the boys, Gideon is on alert. Where's Gideon? Where's Gideon? Oh, my goodness. All right. And then, so they're going in there and they're getting some feed for the Rams. And I guess they're trying to fatten them up for freezer camp or processing. And Tim, of course, he has to remind Junior to put the lid on the feed. And I'm like, okay, what am I missing here? Okay, so these boys do these farm chores every day. Yes, they do them early, Monday through Friday. And I guess they do them a little bit later on the weekends. Yes, but they do these chores every day for weeks upon months. Yes, and so why would he feel the need to remind them to put a lid back onto the feed can? Okay, so now is it my coach micromanaging things, or is there some type of processing or retention issue going on with Timothy Jr.? Okay, now we knew that little Noah had certain issues that people labeled as some type of speech deficiencies. Yes. Others of us know that he has other issues that are going unaddressed. Okay, but when you have to remind the supposed CEO of IAG Farms, 10, 11-year-old Junior, to put the can back on, and you feel the need to do it, yes? Okay, that means that you know that there's some gaps. Yes, you talk about those gaps in the homeschooling. Well, clearly Junior has some gaps in his retention / processing. All right, but show us more, Coach. Show us more.
Curl up in the hay, like I said, so he just gets a chance to free range and just go anywhere that he wants to go. Ain't that right, Sheep? What's up, Rams? Y'all getting ready, getting nice and fat for freezer camp, getting this nice green grass,
He can go anywhere but the
That's right. All right, so what's the first thing y'all about to do, boys?
We're about to feed the ram lambs.
About to feed the ram lambs. There you go.
We give the ram lambs 3 scoops. Yep. They don't be eating all their grain though.
Yeah, they don't need that much. So they get it. I'm protecting my boys now. Don't you come up on my boys too much. You see him? Gideon's a good farm dog now. We got him trained well. He makes sure that anytime the boys are in with animals, you know, he don't do the same thing on me. He'll let them walk up on me. But he makes sure anytime the boys are in with these rams that the rams don't get too close up on them. Put the top of the lid back on. There you go. Just make sure you don't turn your back too hard to them.
All right, so 2 truths and a lie. I guess they're feeding, the boys are feeding the rams, getting them ready for processing. I guess that would be a truth. Spreading out the feed, I guess that would be truthful. And I guess Tim says they don't have to worry about bloat with the rams for one reason or another. We're going to take that because most of us are not farmers. We're going to take that to be truth. Right? Yes. Why would he lie about that? But then when he talks about the breeding pigs, and first he says, well, none of these breeding pigs are going to processing. He goes off, he plays, he talks to the piglets, and he's expecting a response back from the piglets. Yes, it's one thing to talk to your animals, but to expect them to respond back to you it's a little bit different. Yes, but when you don't have any human friends, I guess you get desperate. I guess you get desperate from time to time. All the time. He's always desperate. Is that right? Okay. But at first, after him saying that none of these pigs are going to processing, he doubles back and he says, well, no. This male pig, this one male pig, he is going for processing. And so I'm not sure if that was the truth or the lie. You saying that none of them was going for processing, and then you coming back and say, no, that male is getting prepped for processing. I don't know if that was a truth or a lie. I can't. It's hard to tell sometimes, yes? I know what you guys are saying. Hey, Captain, if you're going to do 2 truths and a lie, Captain, you need to be able to definitively identify which ones are truths and which one is a lie. And I'm sorry, the lines get blurred. I'm sorry. That's my coach. Yes, he's good at blurring the lines. And some of you woeful Tim worshipers, you love for your lines to be blurred. But he says, we're not going to take the male out, okay? And we're going to produce sausage. We love to produce sausage out of the males. And this one has been castrated. And now in the past, he said, well, we like to make the sausage because the meat gets tainted. It has a certain taint to it if you don't castrate them. So we just like to make sausage out of them, yes? Now he's saying, well, he likes to make sausage out of them because they have a higher fat content. Truth or lie? You guys are going to have to help me on that one. Yes? I know that my coach, he does not count on us remembering his statements and his claims in previous videos. Okay, but at one point he said it was because of the taint of them not being castrated. Now he's saying he likes to make sausage because they have a higher fat content. Yes. Some people would say that he's making sausage because these pigs are being brought up in squalor. Okay, because they're being brought up in poop, in the poop. Yes, the 1 foot deep, 1 foot thick poop that is the pig pen. Yes. Okay, the infested, disease-ridden pen that they live in. Some people would say, well, that's really the reason why he's only making sausage out of them. Okay, but I'm sorry, I can't tell. Truth, lie, I can't tell. Go in the comments, you guys let me know. All right, meanwhile, Coach, show us more.
All right, so y'all can see the boys are feeding out these 2 rams to go to processor next week. And we also have the feeder pigs that are getting ready to go to processor next week as well. And we're not taking any of the black hogs. Like I said, we're going to let all of these grow out. We do have one pig in here. Let's see which one is it. This one right here. This is a male pig, a barrow that's being raised out. Look at the babies over here sunbathing. What's up, baby pigs? Y'all just waiting for y'all's grain? All over the place. Coming from under the barn. Hey, how's it going? How y'all doing? But yeah, we have one of these pigs in here that's a barrow, which is a male that's been castrated. His testicles have been cut out. They were preparing for freezer camp as well. We like to make sausage out of these pigs because they have a higher fat content. And so there is one pig in here that's going to be going to freezer camp as well, but not today or not this week in this round. But
all right, 2 truths and a lie. Yes. Okay, so it's true that is a piglet. Yes, it is true that the piglet is wandering around in the shed area, freely wandering around. Okay, so there's 1 or 2 truths. Yes. Okay, and then Tim says that these pigs are so gentle, the piglets are so gentle that you can just walk up on them and pick them up. Okay, so I think we're starting to creep over into that lie territory. Yes, because of course when he goes to pick up that pig, however gently he does, yes, that pig goes about squealing, yes? Squealing for his mama, yes? Squealing for his mama, yes? And of course we know his mama would definitely run up on Tim if not for the gate restraining her, yes? But squealing for his mama, yes? Bucking and chucking, yes? At one point, knocking the camera out of Tim's hands. Yes? Okay, and so I thought they were gentle. I thought they did not mind you picking them up. Why is he squealing to the high heavens? Why is he squealing to the high heavens? Why is he squealing bloody murder? Why is he squealing? Okay, if he doesn't mind being picked up, coach. Okay, so at best, that's an exaggeration. At norm, I won't say it worse, but at norm, that's definitely a lie, coach. Show us more.
We have feeder pigs that are going to be ready. Look at that. I told you they're all over the place. Let me see if I can pick it up. Hey, little pig. Get in there. Hey, little pig.
Feeling like Jonah.
Hey, little pig.
So now we find our way. Feeling like Moses, men of Lord taking. Now we got to find our way. Feeling like
He knocked the camera out of my hand.
gave him our
But they're so gentle that you can walk right up on them and pick them up.
Feeling like Jonah, for now we gonna find our way. Feeling like Moses, men of
Put
Lord
them down.
taking. Now we got to
They're all
find
over the
our
place.
way. Feeling like
All right, 2 truths and a lie. Yes, they are still in the shed area. Yes, whether it's a barn or a shed, definitely not a barn, but I'm not going to call that a lie. I'm going to call it an exaggeration. Yes. Now we can't help but notice the trash that is strewn throughout that area. Yes. And you can't blame it on Gideon. Gideon is not the one that trashed up, that junked up that area. Yes. Okay. It's trashy. It's junky on the interior of the shed. It's trashy. It's heaped. It's piled on the exterior of the shed. Yes. Even the little pull wagon that was previously used to haul the bales of hay, even the little pull wagon is piled with trash. Okay, we know the boys didn't pile it up. We know who piled up the trash, yes? Okay? All right, so it's a truth. It's a truth that area is only suitable for a dog, yes? Okay, and now Tim tries to wrap things up by saying it's fun times on the farm. Yes? So I don't have to point out to you guys that, of course, in this scene, that is the lie. It's an exaggeration. Okay, fun times on the farm. For who? For Megan? That's going to have to go in and clean up behind my coach. Fun times for the boys that have to be subject to this scripted, this staged filming process. Fun times for them. Who is it fun times for? Show us more.
Little pig, we got your grain coming later. But yeah, they're all over the place.
He said,
Let's see.
on the ground and look like I can't get
that's
it.
what you said. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah.
You
You see the pig over here, too? It's gone now. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I guess. It's fun times on the farm, y'all. There you go, right there.
Yeah.
All right, 2 truths and a lie. Yes, the grass is overgrown throughout the farm. That is the truth, yes. And we'll give another truth in there real quick. And so apparently the rams are grazing on the overgrown grass. So that's 2 truths. I gave you 2. But now Tim claims that anytime you guys see overgrown grass on the farm, it's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I have some type of attention deficit disorder. It's not because I can't finish any of the projects that I started. Okay? It's because the grass, when it's overgrown, it has a purpose. It has a purpose, yes? Okay? Good gracious. That's just like leaving a sink full of dishes. Now, that's if you were the one that was washing the dishes, not for Megan. But that's like leaving a sink full of dishes and say, well, I allowed the dishes to accumulate for a reason. Because I wanted to use less dish soap in order to wash them all at once. I wanted to use less water, and that's why I let the dishes accumulate. That's why I let the dishes stack up. Okay? That's nonsense, yes? Okay, that's like not grooming yourself, being improperly groomed, yes? Letting those boys run around with the nappy heads, yes? And then saying, well, anytime you see the boys with the nappy heads, It's because we're trying to save electricity. Yes, running the hair clipper, it uses electricity. I'd rather save the electricity and use it later in the day when the electricity costs less. I'm like, okay, come on, coach. So anytime we see the overgrown, it's for some type of purpose, yes? Even though the rams do not graze on all of the overgrown grass that we see throughout the property. Okay, so exaggeration at best, at norm, that's a lie. But tell us more, coach. Tell us more.
A little bit, like I say, we have the ram in here eating this nice lush grass. So anytime y'all see grass overgrown in the section on the farm, it's for a reason. For real. So let me get this gate closed. But yeah, anytime y'all see grass overgrown on the farm, it's for a reason. But anyway, welcome to another sneak peek, peekaboo. IAG.
All right, Tim, two truths and a lie. I'm sorry, two truths and a lie. So Tim talks about how several of their long form videos are an hour long. So that is a truth, yes? Now, we do understand, we do have to acknowledge that came from the reaction spaces, yes? That came from the subscribers and the commenters in the reaction channels complaining about Tim chopping up these videos and trying to stretch that content, yes? Diluting this content, just stretching it out, yes? Okay, and so now of late, he's starting to put out these hour-long videos. So that's the truth, yes? And now he also says that some of the viewers, they don't have time to watch an hour-long video. So that would be a second truth. And so he says, well, because of that, some of the viewers, they're going in and they're watching pieces or segments of the video. Okay, that would also be a truth, yes? But then he doubles back and say, well, some of you guys don't have time to watch segments of the video. Yes, you don't have time to, rather than watching an hour long, some of you guys don't have time to watch only the 20 minutes or the 15 minutes. And I can't tell if that's an exaggeration, if that's a lie, or if that's lunacy. Yes, which is it? Do they not have time for the full-length video? Do they not have time to chop it up and just watch 20 or 30 minutes of it? Yes? Or do they not have time for the nonsense whatsoever? Huh? Which is it, coach? Okay? Is it the hour long? Is it the 20 minutes? Or is it the nonsense that they don't have time for, coach? Yes? Okay? But you talk about how these sneak peeks, they give the viewers a look at things that are going on, things that went on months ago, and things that are yet to come. And I'm like, okay, at this point, coach, it's a hodgepodge. Yes, it's a mixed match. Okay, we got stuff thrown together. We got recent stuff thrown together with past stuff, thrown with obsolete stuff, with outdated stuff, with flashbacks. It's mixed up. It's mixed and it's matched at this point, coach. Don't put that on the viewers. Okay, that's on you. Okay, and maybe this is the innovation that you spoke of previously. Yes, confuse the Woeful Tim worshipers enough so they'll just sit still and they'll watch it. Yes, get their popcorn ready. Yes, get their pencil and their pad ready. Yes, and then they can just watch it mindlessly. Forget about the fact that they're not matching, they're not going together properly. Yes. Just watch and enjoy, coach. Is that what the Ready Tim writers are supposed to do? Mm-hmm. Because it's us discerning viewers, yes? Us critical thinkers, yes? Okay. We notice the disconnects, coach. We notice them. But show us more, coach. Show us more.
Watch it in pieces, but a lot of times we're posting so many videos that you don't have time to break it down and watch it in pieces. So you might get a little bit behind, and these sneak peeks will help to catch you up. They will help to get you excited. They will help to let you know what's coming. Like I say, not only in the video that's coming after, like the video that we're sneak peeking in this video, but also in the future, like all of our goals. I told y'all in the last video, the last sneak peek.
All right, two truths and a lie, yes? And our coach talks about how they are extreme goal setters. Now, that's a truth. That is a truth, yes? Okay, because if you're flipping the switch on those seasons, you're turning the page on these seasons. Okay, that's goal driven. Yes. Okay, we know at one point it was driven by ministry work. We know at one point. Yes. We know at one point it was driven by a supposed nonprofit work that was highly profitable. Okay, yes. And we know of late it's been driven by for-profit activity, yes? It's been driven by YouTube monetization, yes? Okay, and so you talk about being goal-driven. That part is true. Now, you said God told you guys to show determination in completing and reaching your goals. I believe that's true. I do believe that's true, yes? Okay, I do believe that God does speak to them, yes? Just like he speaks to many, if not most of us, yes? It's just some of us ignore it, yes? Some of us cover our ears when God is speaking, yes? Some of us nod when God is speaking. We nod, and then we do something else, yes? We nod, we interpret it, and then we do it our way, yes? Okay, but now the problem has never been with them setting goals, yes? They do have what I would call a supernatural ability to set goals. But most hustlers do. Yes, most hustlers are very clever. They're very crafty, yes? They're very innovative in their hustles, yes? When it comes to deception and misleading folks, yes? When it comes to scheming, yes? Okay, it's not a problem with setting goals. All right. Their problem, the IAG problem, has always been in reaching and completing their goals. Yes. Okay. So truths and a lie. And now Tim talks about the fact that one of the viewers commented that they see them working on the shed or working on the raggedy mobile home or talking about the driveway or mowing grass. And of course, that viewer asked the question that many viewers have. And they ask, well, what does this have to do with it being all about God? So I believe that part is true. Yes. Now I'm guessing in a couple of moments, Tim is going to explain to you guys what that has to do with it being all about God. All right. So I think I owe you guys a lie. Right? Because I think Tim stacked up about 3 or 4 truths in this last segment, or this segment you guys are about to see, yes? So let's see if there are any exaggerations / lies to be stacked up next, yes? Tell us more, Coach. Tell us more.
That we're extreme and intense goal setters, because the Lord told us to be determined to reach our goals. And you can't be determined to reach a goal that you haven't set, you know what I'm saying? So we make sure we set goals, and that just makes it a beautiful thing to where we're able to bring y'all along. Like I say, we're not flying by the seat of our pants, but the Lord is ministering to us and really inspiring us, and we're following his lead. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody said, you working on a house, and somebody in the comments said, they were like, this is a serious question. No hate, but you're working on a house, you cutting grass, you like renovating a home for your family, you're homeschooling, you're doing this. Like, what does that have to do with God?
All right, 2 truths and a lie, yes? All right, so first of all, Tim starts out by adjusting his glasses and giggling. So we know there's a lie coming, yes? Hopefully just one, yes? Hopefully just one, yes? But he talks about coming from where he had been. And by the way, he labels this as being a preach-a-boo. And I'm like, okay, all right, is it preacher-boo? Is that what you want us to call you now, Coach? Call you preacher-boo? Instead of preacher Tim, preacher-boo? It's a little bit saucy, a little bit zesty, but if you insist, preacher-boo. All right? But he talks about somebody that came from where he had come from as far as drug addiction, as far as robbing folks, sticking up folks, etc. And how he was a nobody. So now that's the first lie. Okay, so Tim was never a nobody. Okay, so regardless of the dirt that he did, regardless of him being out there ganging and banging, he was never a nobody. Okay, he was always a child of God. Okay. Even when he was straying, yes, he was always a child of God. So he was never a nobody. And that's kind of something surprising to hear from an ex-pastor, yes? So that's a lie, yes? But tell us more, Coach. Tell us more.
And I was like, if you can't see what a man that has been through what I've been through, like came out of what I came from, drug addiction, just so many like hang-ups and strongholds, and just being a nobody, just following Satan, being used by Satan.
All right, 2 truths and a lie. Here we go. Yes. All right, so here's the truth. He's talking about going from doing his dirt to working with his hands. So that is the truth. He is working. Now, even though he only does about 3 days of work per week, yes, and even though he only works 1 week at a time, and then he takes the next week off, he was doing that out at Resurrection Ranch, yes? When Grandma Lily wouldn't see him for like 4 or 5 days, he was taking a week off back then. And he's still taking a week off, yes? 1 week on, 1 week off, yes? Okay? 0% of the effort, 100% of the time, yes? That's Tim, that's my coach. Okay, so he is working with his hand, that's the truth. But he talks about how he came from his dark past where he's being used by Satan, okay, to where he is now, being a husband. Okay, at best, that's an exaggeration. Okay, what husband works his wife to the bone? What husband has his wife working harder than he does? By choice. Now, sometimes the wife does have to be the breadwinner of the household. Sometimes the wife does have to prop up the household. But generally speaking, if you're the head of the household as the man, okay, unless you're willing to defer to Megan and anoint Megan as being the head of the household, yes, we already know she's the man of the house. Don't say that. Okay. All right, but so now you talk about being the husband that you are. That's questionable / an exaggeration. It's a stretch. To being a father. Okay, now considering how you've been leaving the fathering, okay, of course the mothering, but you've been leaving the fathering to Megan. You've been leaving the educating to Megan, the nurturing to Megan. Okay, at best that's an exaggeration. You being a father. Okay. All right. Although you had a hand in birthing those kids, you being a father, being an effective father, questionable. At best, it's a lie. Okay. At norm, it's a lie. Yes. Now, to you discipling, being a disciple, okay, that's an absolute lie. That's an absolute lie. Okay. Okay. You sprinkling in scripture from time to time. You getting defensive on your comments that you're getting, okay? And then say, oh, it's all about God. Forget about what you guys see. Forget about what you hear. It's all about God, okay? I'm saying it, and by gosh, it's all about God. And if you question whether it's all about God, there's something wrong with you. Yes, it's not something wrong with what you see. It's not something wrong with what you hear me say. Yes, it's something wrong with you, okay? If you can clearly see that none of this it's all about God, yes? And you talk about changing lives, and we're like, okay, now that absolutely is a lie, yes? Borderline, yes? If you talk about changing Megan's life, it's a truth. If you're talking about changing the lives of some of your followers, that might be true, yes? But if you're talking about changing the lives of some of the faithful, the ones that are strong in their word, strong in their scripture, devout Christians, you're talking about changing some of those lives, that would have to be an exaggeration at best. Yes. You're talking about changing the lives of those boys. Yes. You used to talk about leaving a legacy for those boys. Okay. Those boys are being marked. They're being stained for life. They're being affected, impacted for life. Okay. So you already started changing their lives. Okay, you've changed how they view their mama. Changed how they view a woman's role in the household. Changed how they view a man's role in the household, a responsible man's role in the household. Okay, you've changed their lives as far as how they see what a responsible father should be doing around the household. Okay, integrity. Of course, you change their lives and how they interpret integrity. The importance of honesty. Okay, and so certainly you have changed some lives, Coach. Certainly. Okay, but not the lives that you're trying to insinuate. Okay? And then as such, I can't take anymore. I promise you, I can't take no more.
To being the man that I am now, to being a father, to being a husband, to being a disciple of Christ, to being someone that has changed lives, you know what I'm saying? To being someone that's working with his hands, like literally the scripture is like, that we leave at the beginning of every video, like, sets the stage for the ministry that we're doing. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 28, it says, let him who stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands that which is good, so that he can have something to give to those that are in need. And so one part of it is not just about giving to those that's in need, but it's about, the first part is taking these hands right here. Look very, very closely at it. These hands were used for Satan. For real. Like snatching purses, stealing stuff, stealing cars, robbing people, taking advantage of women. These hands were used for terrible things. You know what I'm saying? But now these hands, according to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 28, are being used for good and not evil. So the Lord literally has anointed my hands. And that's what y'all see when y'all see me on these videos. I have no experience building. When I built that barn, that was the first thing of that size that I had put and built from the ground. Where's the IAG? You know what I'm saying? Where's the IAG?
That's it for my reaction to that recent IAG Farms trailer, where I was going to try to identify 2 truths and a lie. You guys let me know on the tally how we did. Did we wind up even with the truths and the lies? Yes. Did we wind up even? Were there enough truths offered to overtake the lies, or did the lies just come in and dominate the situation? Did the lies just annihilate the whole presentation okay, of this script that's supposedly all about God, and that supposedly has Jesus written all over it? You guys let me know. Yes, when he talks about miracles, being able to rip off some tin siding, and he labels it as being a miracle. Okay, considering that he has nothing else to do with his time other than editing, he should be doing work around that farm. Okay, so it's not a miracle that you can tear down siding. It's not a miracle that you can screw up some OSB. Okay, it's not a miracle that you can attach a porch light. Yes, it's not a miracle that you can mess up the electrical wiring in your house, thereby creating a potential powder keg. Yes, none of that is a miracle. Okay, but please like, comment, and subscribe. Chop it up in the comments. I want to shoot some love out to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.